Good evening, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Well, I hope you're enjoying your Valentine's Day. I do have a very special episode tonight. I have got two special guests that have been on the show before. We're going to talk about this outdoor soccer team here in Columbus, Fountain City FC. I've got the owners of Fountain City FC, Gage Joyner and Jose Perez, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them on the show. Fellas, great having you here on the Sports Beat. Great having you back on the show. I'm just excited to talk outdoor soccer with you. I know the season's coming up, but how have you guys been? I know you guys have been busy.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. But like you said, we've been staying busy in the meantime. Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, a ton of work, man.
Absolutely.
A ton of work behind the scenes, but it's been great.
Absolutely, and I love the uniforms that you guys are rocking. Tell us a little bit about your uniforms, and is it what type of kit is it? Is it a home away uniform?
So this is our home kit for the season. It's red, which was our, I guess, original colors when we first made the team. We had like these practice kits that we used, and we wanted to stick with that color scheme. So they're like a dark red. It's got the fountain sublimated across the front, and then it's got the city of Columbus, basically exactly what your background is right now, across the bottom of the jersey. And then the crest is a silicone crest. Yeah, there we go, Jose. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
We put the
That's
city of
great.
Columbus right on the front.
Yeah, that's my virtual background you got on
Yeah.
your uniform. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we work with a company called Diaza, which we have a merch shop with them as well, and they're really great to work with. So our home kit is this red, and of course our away kit we announced it's a baby blue. So yeah, we're really excited. We've had a lot of people order jerseys for themselves, a lot of fans and stuff. So we can't wait to come out on the field and have these red jerseys on at home.
Well, I'm excited. We were talking about this last year, outdoor soccer in Columbus, but what made you launch outdoor soccer in Columbus? I know the interest has been there. I mean, there's just a lot of soccer leagues around the Chattahoochee Valley, but what started Fountain City FC?
So I know Gage and I are both going to have maybe completely different answers for this, but for me personally, it was just the desire to play 11-a-side soccer on a decent field. So I actually moved down here from Atlanta, and up there, we've got it's super organized. You've got so many different leagues up there: UPSL, NPSL, ADSL, and like I said, it's very organized. Everyone's kind of got their own field. And then I moved down here to Columbus, and really the only 11-a-side that we had was down in Bibb City, and it was the field, man. If you would, and this is not a knock on the guys who play out there, but it looks like Fort Moore was out there testing explosives. Like it's been overused. The grass never really gets a chance to recover, and I mean, it was fun, going out there with your friends and stuff, but it just wasn't really what I guess what I'm trying to say is that I missed playing like I used to. And in fact, at one point, I was actually making the drive up to Atlanta every weekend to play because I missed it that much. And that was just starting to wear on me. Driving 2 hours there, playing the whole match, 2 hours back. So just a lot of time spent driving, and then also putting miles on my truck. And at some point, I got to thinking like, I'm not getting any younger, and I don't want to spend my last good years doing this, but I definitely don't want to spend my last good years for soccer playing on that field, potentially picking up an injury. So that was kind of one of the huge motivators for me personally.
All right, and Gage, how about you? Like, what got your interest in outdoor soccer in Columbus?
Yeah, Richard. So, I've been involved with a couple different teams, putting together teams for tournaments, putting together teams in, like Jose mentioned, the Hispanic League in Columbus. And so that was really great. We're really easy to work with, and we were able to connect a lot of players around the area. Me and Jose just kind of know already a ton of good players, and we just wanted to see I guess the potential to be able to grow outside of just playing in that one league, and kind of a vision of having some of the best players in Columbus, all from different teams, different areas, all kind of come together and become one. And that's kind of that's kind of what we've been able to do. Our team to me now is more than just a team. It's kind of like a family. We have almost 30 players. We train 4 times a week. Almost every player is at every training session, and so it's just great to see like us growing as a team and kind of like as a family, and really just connecting with the city. And we're really excited to play.
And the team is in the United Premier Soccer League. You had a couple of friendlies. I know we're going to be able to drop the schedule release here on the show. I am so honored that you guys are willing to do that. But let's talk about soccer in Columbus as a whole, because we did have the indoor soccer team, the Columbus Rapids. They do not exist anymore. I mean, as indoor soccer failed in Columbus, what makes you think that outdoor soccer can succeed here in Columbus?
That's honestly a really good question. You know, it's a shame that the indoor soccer thing didn't really stick around. I do think that outdoor soccer has kind of like its own unique aspect to it. When you think soccer, that's what you think, right? Is outdoor, 11 aside. At least that's what you watch on TV, right? When you watch the pros play and whatnot. But if you make it out to, going back to that league I was talking about where they play on the dirt field, when you go out there for the playoffs, I mean, there's literally like hundreds of people, right? I mean, like they've got music out there, they've got food.
Yeah, it's a huge event. A lot of people just don't
And
know
that's
about
for,
it.
yeah, and that's for, that league. So clearly and obviously that's not all the soccer fans, because then you're missing all the people who have their kids going through the Concord system and all that. So if you start to think about that, then you realize that, there really is a huge market for this kind of thing. I think maybe one thing that will make our team extremely unique is that it's pretty much just all local players, at least unique compared to what we've had recently. And I think back to what was bringing me to the indoor soccer games, and it was really just to go watch my friends who were on the team, So I would go out there to support Osvaldo, for example, or Patricio. And that was really the only thing that was actually drawing me to go watch. That was just, oh, look, it's my friends. Like, let me go support them. And I think going back to what I said makes us unique is that there's so many opportunities for that kind of interaction to occur with our team and the community, because you've got a lot of our players who actually went through these same youth systems. And I think that's just kind of like a cool thing for some of these younger kids to look at that and be like, oh my gosh, what? Like I used, he used to be in my shoes and now they're playing at that level. So, can something like this succeed? I think it can, but I think ultimately it's not 100% up to us. We're doing the best we can to get quality players, to get quality coaching, to find quality facilities, trying to navigate that maze of setting that stuff up. And then, I guess what's left is the community going to buy in? Are they going to support us like that? Because, like I said, we have the door open for everyone, even people who in the past maybe we've had like falling outs with, or if there's been any kind of like animosity there. It's really interesting to see both parties kind of set that aside, because they see the goal of what we're trying to do here so much bigger than, this ego versus that ego. It's like, hey, let's come together, put Columbus on the map, give the city something to be proud of, So I guess that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, one thing that we love here in Columbus is we love professional sports, especially when they're winning. And so it brings me to just the rough start that you had in the preseason. I mean, what are your thoughts on the chatter that some of the games that you've had before the regular season have started have ended up in losses? And can this team be competitive and play in the United Premier Soccer League against really all the teams in Georgia? Like you got Legends FC up in LaGrange. I mean, you got some teams in and around Atlanta that really been playing for years, and they are very competitive. And so what is it going to take to put a winning product on the field?
Go ahead, Gage.
Yeah. So yeah, I can answer that. So we've had a couple different preseason games. Some, that we don't post the scores to if they're kind of private games, or maybe we don't want to post the score if it was too much. Um, so we post every loss. If we have a loss, we want to be completely transparent with our fans and our supporters. Um, there's been games we've played where we've won 10-0 and that wasn't posted anywhere. And there's games where we won 12-1 that weren't posted anywhere. But our most recent game was with Georgia Revolution. And that team is a staple in Atlanta and a staple in the NPSL and the UPSL. They've been around for years and years. They're actually in the premier division of the UPSL, and meanwhile we're entering into Division One, so we're right under them as a new team. So really, it's just us picking high level teams to play against is what we're doing. We're going out of the way to pick those high level teams that we're not even going to play Georgia Revolution in the regular season because they're a step above us. But we know now that we can compete with them. We went toe to toe the entire game. They scored in literally the last minute of the game. And following our game with them, they actually had a game with Atlanta United 2. So that just kind of goes to show the level of kind of the teams that we're trying to play against. And so, these little small preseason losses that we post, they don't really mean much to me, and I don't think they mean much to the team. Of course, we'd like to post a win, but really right now it's more about the team learning to play with each other. We use these preseason games to try out new techniques with our coaches, and so it's all just a learning experience right now. So when we do come out in March, we'll be prepared and we'll be over prepared, for the competition that we'll be facing.
So that is a tease right there that the schedule is coming out in March. I cannot wait. So where are you going to be playing your home games? Is there a football stadium in Columbus that is actually soccer specific that has – obviously the football fields have the soccer dimensions, but which place would probably be the best venue to host your home games?
You want to go? You want to answer that one too, Gage? I know you were kind of the one going back and forth with that. So
it's not easy, Richard, in Columbus to get in venues. It's definitely not, and there's no blueprint for this. We're the first team in the city to set something like this up, so it's definitely been a ride. But we were lucky enough to work with Muskogee County School District, and I want to thank Jeff Battles, Satin, Sumner, Travis Anderson. We were able to secure Otis Spencer Stadium as our home stadium for the 2024 spring season. So that's the only full-size, full-width soccer field in Columbus. It seats, I think, 7,000 people. Really great venue. And we'll supplement a few of our games at Spencer High School, the athletic turf field as well. So, but the majority of our home games are going to be at Otis Spencer Stadium. So we're super excited. This is the first mention of that here with you guys. So we'll make a post about that later for everyone, but I know we've had a ton of questions recently about where our home venue is going to be. It's a burning question with a lot of people, and we just recently got that locked in with the school, so we're really excited to have our fans out there for that.
All right, gentlemen, let's talk about the future of Fountain City FC. Stuff that we could think about that's on the horizon. Is there any plans for a possible reserve team or even a women's team? Because we know how popular a women's team was here in Columbus. When we had the indoor soccer team, the Columbus Rapids, it was groundbreaking. We had female professional athletes that were role models to these girls that are playing soccer. And I think that would be an ideal to try to get a women's team that I don't know if they actually they have it in the NWSL, but I don't know if there is a women's league yet in the UPSL. But is that something that you guys are thinking about in the future?
Yeah, so they're actually that's actually just starting off as well, is the women's side for UPSL, and that's definitely something that's crossed our mind. Definitely, I think Gage and I are both. I don't know what the word for it would be. Maybe we like to over prepare rather than rather than under prepare, and just to make sure that we do things correctly. And I guess what we kind of agreed on is that that sounds great. Like that's something that we'd definitely be interested in, but we don't want to bite off more than we can chew too early on. We haven't even finished our first season. So we want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row first and understand, truly how this kind of system works, especially with the administrative and like logistical infrastructure of field, acquiring a field, getting the jersey stuff settled out, and all that stuff. We just want to make sure that we kind of iron all those kinks out before we take on, I guess, an additional task like that. I think one big thing that we've been discussing a lot lately is a potential reserve team. And I think a lot of that stems from just the fact that there's so much talent in Columbus. Like Gage said, we've got 30 players and they're all just so talented. It's so hard for us and our coach to really pick out, okay, who should our starting 11 be? And then if we change the formation, if we go back to like a 4-3-3, then that changes who starts, because it just we've got so many different players that can fill those roles. And I wish I could, I guess one of the big things for us was to give people an opportunity to play at a higher level. And there's so many guys on there. I want to give them all the opportunity to play like that. Sure, at practice, you get a chance to do that every single day because especially when we scrimmage, it's just high level guys going at each other. But, there's nothing quite like the game experience. And realistically, I think we do have enough players to make two teams. But again, that's going to take more administration, more paperwork, and like I keep saying, we just want to make sure that we have everything just kind of systematically put together to where if we do something like that, it's not like a complete chaotic nightmare. Gage, you got anything to add to that?
No, yeah. I mean, Richard, when the Rapids were here, I think watching the girls, honestly, pound for pound, it was more entertaining than watching the guys. To me, I love watching the women's games. UPSL did just release a women's division. They also released an academy division as well, which is brand new. So, if we can get Columbus behind this and we can get the sponsorship we need, we can get the venues that we need to be able to practice and support these teams. Me and Jose work really hard to be able to put, I guess, what we have now up front where it is. So if we just get a little bit of backing, I'm sure that can be an option in the near future. We just probably need a little help with that, but I would love to be able to do that.
All right, gentlemen, let's talk about the league that you're in, the UPSL. What type of tier league is it? How does it compare to the other leagues out there? Of course, when you think of the top leagues, well, in this country, MLS, and then right down the Atlanta United 2, playing in that league. But what tier is the UPSL?
It's kind of a complicated structure in the United States, unfortunately. But as you said, you definitely have MLS at the very top. And then you have USL 1 and 2 that kind of follow shortly after that. And then I guess it's kind of a toss-up between there's NPSL, UPSL, and I believe NISA.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on who you ask, they'll say one's above the other. UPSL, which is the one that we're in, can be broken down even further into a promotion relegation kind of tier system, which I think that's what really draws a lot of teams to that is, if you finish at the bottom of the table, you do get demoted. So there is kind of like that motivation, that incentive to not do that. And then if
so it's like in the Premier League.
Right. Yeah.
That is actually, with the Premier League and seeing teams get relegated, I mean, that has got to be motivation just to continue doing well and improving. And I think that's a really good system, especially in the UPSL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives a lot of teams stuff to work for. It gives them a thing, if you don't do well, you get relegated. So all teams in the UPSL, when they first join, they start out in Division 1. And so that's where we'll be in. It's considered still fourth tier pro. If we win our division, 2 teams get moved up to Premier Division, and that's where the Atlanta United Academy plays and teams like that.
Well, I am excited that another professional sports team is coming to Columbus. I mean, we right now, as it stands, we have the Columbus River Dragons and the Columbus Lions. We got Fountain City FC. Unfortunately, the Columbus Rapids do not exist anymore. Foundry FC doesn't even exist anymore. I was looking on the schedule on the NISL, and it's looking like they're not fielding a team. And then we lost the Columbus Chattahoochee and the Chattahoochee Monsters, but we are getting a minor league baseball team in 2025. I mean, there's a lot of soccer fans out in Columbus. They supported the Rapids, and I do feel that the soccer fans in this city are going to back this, and I really am excited, and you're really going to put a good product out there and make our city look good. And so, gentlemen, I really wish you the best of luck. But my next question is, what are you most excited for about this upcoming season?
You got it, Jose. Go ahead.
Personally, when people ask me questions like that, it's kind of hard to say. Like I'm thinking, do I answer that as a co-owner, assistant manager, or as a player? But I feel like I my go-to is to answer it as a player because that's kind of one of my biggest motives. I think for me is to finally get out there, get a chance to play this sport that I love with my friends at a high level and just have fun with it, And like I said earlier, I'm getting older, so I've got to be honest with myself. These are my best, my last good years to play at that level, at that intensity, and getting the chance to spend it with these guys, I think to me it feels like an honor. So what I'm most excited about is just those memories that we're going to build this first season. I know things are going to happen that we're going to talk about for years together. So our first win, our first loss, when so-and-so scored that first goal, when so-and-so, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most, and just giving our fans, something fun to do, something fun to watch, support their friends, that kind of stuff.
All right, Gage?
Yeah, Richard, I'm just excited to be able to bring this team here. We've been working so hard, bringing quality products to our fans and our supporters, trying to make it where, we thought about everything. Our kickoff times, we thought about to be able to include everyone, our ticket prices, season tickets, wink, wink, that will be up for grabs soon. So we just want to, we're not here. We didn't start this team to make money. We started this team to be able to bring a quality team to Columbus. We want to be able to give fans a good experience and just for us to have fun. I think one of my main goals was, I guess, as the team really coming out and making an impact and trying to get promoted, which is always, I guess, the goal that you want. But as we've been playing and I see that we can compete, that goal of getting promoted has kind of been set to the side, I feel like, because I know that we can make it there. And so really I'm just looking forward to us having a great season and making memories, like Jose said, just having a good time with it.
I'm here with Fountain City owners Gage Joyner and Jose Perez here on the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge. We've got the upcoming UPSL season for the 2024 inaugural season for Fountain City FC. And I'm looking at just basically the league that we've already seen Legends FC. They're out of LaGrange. Are you guys going to be able to play Legends FC? Are they in the same division or are they a tier up?
So Legends, I know the owner of Legends well now, great guy. I really respect their program. Legends, they were entered into the league. I think the Division One entry was recently put in, maybe right after they joined. So they were able to get put into the Premier Division without having to play in Division One first. So unfortunately, in our regular season, we won't be able to face Legends FC, but we did have a friendly with them not too long ago. That was a close match. And then, of course, you have UMA FC out of LaGrange. We've played that team. Our last game with them, we were able to pull out a win, and they're a great team as well. But so unfortunately, we won't be able to play them. But in the fall, when we do get promoted, we will be playing against those teams and the Atlanta United Academy. So that's going to be awesome.
All right, and so what would you consider success in your first season in the UPSL? Yeah, we'll start with
Honestly,
you, Jose.
yeah, that's tough to answer too. we've just been doing so much stuff behind the scenes. Honestly, I feel like a success would be just to make it out of it, just to do it, get all our games knocked out. Obviously, it'd be easy for me to sit up here and be like, yeah, success would be to get promoted and win. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's cool. That'd be great and everything. But I think a success would honestly just be able to finish the season and say we did it. Like we pulled this off. All of this work that we've been doing for literally 8 months came to this point. So for me, I think that would be one of the major successes.
Yeah, same here. Like Jose said, this isn't something that just happened overnight. We've been building this team, building the club, building Fountain City over months and months of hard work. And it almost seemed like today it's coming to that point where it's like the realization of, okay, we got our home schedule locked in, we got our home venue locked in, and so now it's just kind of like grind time. We're here, and we want to be able to, like I said, just bring a good product out to our supporters, and the memories that we made along the way, the new friends that we made along the way. That's been really great as well.
All right, gentlemen, let's talk about the team. What are some of the top players that we are looking forward to seeing in a Fountain City FC uniform? And what 3 players on the team are expected to make a big impact this season?
I'll let Jose answer that one. So if he leaves anybody out, they'll hate on him, not me.
Oh, my internet's cutting out, guys. Oh man, that's so tough to answer. It's hard enough to even get a starting lineup out of these guys because they're all so quality. I think I'm gonna start from the
But by the
top.
way, I do recognize one player from the Rapids. Frederico Necrasis played on the Rapids in year 1. By the way,
His brother. Well, his brother
oh,
played for
his
Ghent.
brother is Patricio Necrasis. That's
His
right. You know
brother's
what?
Patricio.
And his sister played on the Rapids too.
That's
Martina
right.
Necrasis.
Yeah.
The whole family is full of talent. Even his dad's great. Shout out to Diego.
Yeah. You got to see him in the 38 plus league out there. He's killing it.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, they're all quality at soccer. I was hoping that would get the subject changed. Let me think. I think so. I guess we'll start with Fetty then at the very back. That's hard, man. I'm trying to think like who can we absolutely not go without in the back line, and there's just so many good players. I do think Fetty is one of our standout defenders for sure. And I've thought that ever since I moved here and I got a chance to play with and against him. And that's coming, from someone who's played in Atlanta against some, real high level players. In the middle, Martin, I would maybe Martin Ramos. So I play in the middle with him, and I think that might be one of the reasons why I'm kind of biased towards picking him. Is he makes my job a lot easier. I feel like he's just so composed on the ball. I almost feel like we can just look at each other, and I know what he's expecting me to do when he has the ball, and likewise when I've got the ball and I look at him, he immediately does exactly what I was thinking he should be doing. And his pass percentage super high, wins tackles. I mean, just overall well-rounded player. On the attack, I'd probably pick Tristan Scheidel. I've been, like I said, I've played on so many teams in my life, and it's very rare. I would say that I've never felt as comfortable in a striker as I do in him. I feel like anytime he has the ball in the attacking third, you just feel like something is going to come from that. He's just a very dynamic player, very good finishing. Um, just midfielder's dream teammate. Really makes great runs. So, but it's so difficult because while I'm saying that, I'm thinking Alonso, TJ, Ian, Nathir, who played pro in his country, and uh, it's just hard, man. It's hard to answer. I'm just getting excited thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah,
I
it's
just hope
hard for
I'm
sure,
on
man.
one of their top
So
three.
hard. We have so many high level guys. It's unreal. We really can't wait to show Columbus what we've got. I would say, you mentioned Fetty. I would mention Billy.
Fielding.
active duty military. Just came off of an injury not too long ago and is getting back into it. Great player. Nathir, Ray Martinez came in, had great stats. We tried to keep track of our players' stats. He came in as a sub versus our game, in our game versus Georgia Revs, and I think he only had one incompleted pass that entire game that he was in. So, of course, yeah, Ian. We have a really young player, 16 years old, Andres Bonilla, and I'm hoping that he'll get some great play time out there. He goes to Shaw High School, still in high school, young player, but he's got a lot of talent, and I can see that him being like a star player and really growing with us.
Now, does he play on the Shaw soccer team, or is he allowed to? If he's playing for you guys, he can't play. Like, what's the rules on that?
He can, yeah. We allow him to play at Shaw. That's just something I guess that we had to talk with him about. Some players, I think with our team you get a little bit more exposure, and it's a little bit, it's better for scouting maybe than playing in high school, because at our level it's just so much higher. But we understand that these younger kids want to play with their school program and stuff like that. So we've been real lenient to be able to let our guys that we have that are still in high school play with their high school teams.
Well, gentlemen, I am excited about Fountain City FC and their inaugural season for the 2024 season in the United Premier Soccer League. And the first game is going to be in March. Do we have an idea of when the first home game is going to be and how people can get tickets? You know that your stadium is going to be Otis Spencer Stadium. We expect to see a lot of fans out there. But what are some things that you could drop on this show before you reveal the entire schedule and how fans can get tickets and merchandise?
So we got our schedule locked in, which is great. Our home opener for our season is going to be March 30th at Otis Spencer Stadium. We're looking at a kickoff of around 4 o'clock right now. Like I said, we took into account kickoff times and everything. So kids that are in soccer those Saturday mornings with their family, they have time to be able to finish that up. Give families something to do in the afternoons. After our games, they can go grab a bite to eat. So first game, we'll be announcing that here shortly. Hopefully next week, the league will go ahead and have all those games locked in. But for us, March 30th is going to be our first game, our first home game. And we're working on doing a ticketing system now. As soon as our away games are finalized as well, we'll go ahead and create our home tickets, and then we'll release season ticket packages as well. And we're going to do something really cool for our season ticket package. It's going to be a great value. I don't want to say the price of it because it's going to be a great value. I can tell you that. Great value for what you get. And we're going to do everyone who buys a season ticket package gets entered into a jersey giveaway that we'll do. We'll give away one of our home jerseys to one of the people that buy season tickets. So.
Well, I tell you what, those jerseys look sweet. I love the colors. I can't wait to see the team out on the pitch, ready for the opening game in the United Premier Soccer League. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming on the Sports Beat. And I'd love to have you back on so we can reveal that entire schedule, and especially when the season gets going, we could talk a little bit about the season. I would love for this just to be a more occurrence for the show, and you guys really been just gracious guests.
Thank you for having us, Richard.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime, man. We're happy to be here. We feel grateful for you having us.
Yeah, anytime I can promote sports in Columbus, I mean, that's what I love doing. I love talking about it on my podcast. I love just promoting just this local talent that's here in the Fountain City that's going to be showcased in about a month and a half. It is Fountain City FC owners Gage Joyner and Jose Perez. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is it. That's our show. I want to thank all my listeners who have downloaded the podcast. Don't forget, you can catch a replay of this on WQEE 99.1 FM The Key out of Noonan, Georgia from 2 to 3. I'm on that radio station Monday through Friday, and this is also on Facebook Live, my YouTube channel. I'm also on the X at Sports Richard H. And you can also catch a replay of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you later. Have a good night. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.